What is up, everybody? How's everybody doing? Ciao ragazzi, welcome back here in the Bianconeri Zone. My name is Justin Sofro. Today, what is today? Today is Monday, September 6th, 2021. It's, let's just say, it's been a long weekend. That's the one way to get it out about this. We're going to come in here. I got a few things I want to talk about today. We're going to take you up to about the hour, to about the top of the hour, depending on how many people are here. If you guys are here, how's everybody doing? Check in with me. Let me know in the chat if you're here. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. What we're going to talk about today is there was a lot of nonsense that went around when it came to... I mean, there's a lot of nonsense about everything when it came to Juventus, right? When it came to Weston Mckennie and the situation with him, with the American player for Juventus, and then also there was some nonsense that went around. What is up, Raffle? Appreciate it, my guy. That way I feel like I'm not talking to nobody. Let's see. Let me fix this stuff. We're always got to change it up whenever I do a new thing. I know I'm supposed to do the preview. Probably if Alejandro's here, he's probably yelling at me because I'm not doing it the proper way, but we're going to do it this way. Today, I'm just going to move it around. And then we have Zoair, who's over here saying Mckennie out. Zoair, do me a favor right now. Since you're here and you're an anti-Mckennie guy, can you give me reasoning behind Mckennie out? Give me your reasoning of why you want him out of Juventus. Just in the comment section, not comments, in the chat, but I appreciate it. Sorry, Alejandro. That's what we're doing. What's up, FKPMP? And then fix Nanu. That's awesome, guys. Anyway, how's everybody doing? Let me know in the chat. Also, what's up? We got Cristiano Mike. How you doing, Cristiano Mike? Appreciate you tuning in today. See, FKPMP was saying, I believe in Mckennie. And then Neva's here. Hey, guys, let me know in the chat, though. Especially you, Zoe, who's saying Mckennie out. Let me know why you want Mckennie out. Give me your reasoning behind it. I want to have an actual thought-out conversation, a dialogue with you, if you will, about your reasoning for wanting Mckennie out. Because there's a little bit I want to get into. I want to talk about that today. I also want to talk a little bit about the Italian national team yesterday. A little bit of my thoughts going there. We didn't do a live afterward to really get much into that. But anyway... let's see. And then James Tone's also saying, yo, Justin, Mckennie is out of USA qualifying game yesterday. Yes, he was, and that's what we're going to talk about. We talked about it a little bit. If you haven't seen the Daily News video earlier today, I mentioned it a little bit. But anyway, okay. Anyway, first off, let me just get into this. I'm going to get into the chat here in just a second, but let me just actually get into some of my thoughts on basically everything what's been going on. Is my sound also? Let me know. Is my sound okay? Because last time it was too loud. Sometimes it's too quiet. Usually it's too loud, if anything. But as long as my sound's good, we are good to go. All right. First off, I want to talk about the men's national team, or not the U.S. men's national team, the Italian men's national team. A little bit yesterday, kind of a lackluster performance overall from what I saw. It constantly feels like, at least the last two matches between Switzerland and then when they were playing Bulgaria, it felt like they were just sleepwalking through it. I expect this. I see this a lot from a lot of the. I don't want to say teams that I'm a fan of, but it happens a lot. Juventus does it a lot too, where they just end up going over teams that in essence, they expect them to be overmatched, and they expect them to go in there, get an easy score to be able to nap and rest to the end. I also don't know if Italy is also. I don't want to say. Okay, there's a term I was going to use, but I don't want to use that term. It seems inappropriate to say that. So I'd say I think they're a little bit high on themselves right now. I don't know if maybe that's what it is, and maybe they go into these matches expecting to win, expecting the team just to roll over and continue on. The problem is with that is now I don't know about you guys. Let me know if you guys are worried at all. I'm a little frustrated, and I'm a little worried that it's a possibility that literally we could go from winning the Euros to not making the World Cup. And it's probably after 2018, 2016? Yeah, 2016. Wait. Is it 2018? Yeah, it's 2018. It's 2018, sorry. Anyway, right over my head. I'm tired, guys. I'm sorry. It's been a long day. 2016 is making me more nervous now, given the situation of missing it last time, and then just to see Italy kind of almost that they could do it again. I don't think they will, but at the current time, it's frustrating because I see a team out there who they have no. I don't feel like they know how to be the aggressor. if that makes sense. They don't know. I mean, the attack's not there. You're full of bums. When it comes, oh, sorry, I don't want to say they're full of bums. The attack is full of bums, as in the ones that are being played. Immobile, Insigne is probably the best one, but still Insigne, not great. And then you have Berardi, who comes in and can't finish to save his freaking life. Like literally, Locatelli was out there setting him up for chance after chance after chance, and the man just can't finish. One positive was Manuel Locatelli, and everything that he did out there was fantastic. Manuel Locatelli was killing it. That's what, and also, again, I know, guys, I jump all over the place, but I'm trying to go and hit these bullet points so we can move on and talk about the Mckennie thing. I'm also, if you notice, I got a game tonight. American football starts this weekend, so it was a big weekend of sports for me all over the place. My team plays tonight. Probably going to lose because their coach is crap, even though they're overall, historically, they're a pretty good team. But I don't have faith in the coach that's there right now. Anyway, so basically what I wanted to talk about, though, was when it comes to the national team, first of all, Locatelli was fantastic. Locatelli, I know there were some criticisms where people were out there where I don't want to say they were hating on Locatelli, but they were out there upset that he was playing instead of either Verratti or whoever have you. My man was the only player that was playing worth a damn anyway, so he needs to get his credit out there. Also, guys, if you're new here, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I know it's kind of a dead period right now until Juventus comes back fully, but I appreciate your guys' support during this 2-week dead zone hiatus that we have. Manuel Locatelli needs to be getting his playing time, and also it kind of is going to be an indictment on, and I don't want to go too hard on Allegri, but it's going to be kind of an indictment on Allegri if he comes back and he tries to feed some excuse for not starting Manuel Locatelli when you don't have nearly the competition in the midfield that the Italian national team has, and you're throwing him out there, and for, Ramsey, Rabiot, Bentancur, any of these guys, there's no excuse that he shouldn't be playing over any of them right now. Let me know your thoughts. Are you guys nervous when it comes to the Italian national team about making the FIFA World Cup, or do you think I'm making a lot to do out of nothing? Let me see. What's up, James? How you doing, my guy? What else we got here? What's up, Clement? How you doing? Okay, Clement says, I do not appreciate Mckennie's behavior. Last he did it with Dybala and Archer by organizing a party at his house, but don't say Mckennie out. Okay. Are you saying you're not saying Mckennie out, but you're harsh on what he's done and you don't appreciate it? That's fair. I think that's definitely a fair opinion. I've seen some guys come in here hard with some of these. Let's see. Zoe is saying his attitude has not been the best, and there are rumors about his fitness condition. Well, that's my problem, Zoe. I think they're just rumors. And I have seen nothing of substance when it comes to actually his fitness being out of shape. The main things that we've heard here, at least at the Bianconeri Zone, the words that we're talking about that we've heard have been that he has been in good shape when he showed up. I want to say Romeo Gresti said that he showed up as the peak of his physical fitness that he's been in a long time, or at least under Juventus. My other thing that I would say is, overall, when it comes to Weston McKennie, yeah, there was the party. Okay, you can crush him for that. He deserves to be crushed for that. This issue, okay, and I have to understand, and there's two parts to this. There's always two sides to this overall. It's a little bit odd to me, because what I will say this is there's criticism because of his actions with the United States national team. Being an American, I can speak on this because I live in America, and I understand how things are going here. It's not the same as Italy. And the reason I say that is, okay, first off, if there is a protocol and it says you have to wear a mask wherever you go, and if he was seen without wearing his mask, interacting with people, then maybe he deserves to be punished. I don't know if I would have suspended him for a match. I probably would have done it a little bit differently. If it were me personally, I would have handled it a little bit differently. I think they went a little bit too harsh with that situation. I just don't agree fully with the way they handled it. But that's fine. Say they want to suspend him a match, you suspend him a match. They made a lot of it out of nothing, because if you live in the United States, if you're going around the United States, what's going on here and all that, if you see, I'm just saying, I live here in Kentucky. You walk around and it's is there a pandemic going on? Nobody's acting like it. They basically moved on. I understand there is the variant, we'll say that. I'm trying to be careful with my words because I know sometimes you can get flagged. So there's the variant issue that's a problem, but there's also vaccinations are easily. You can get that easily done. You don't have to worry about it. It's not, it's not a country where you're really worried about who can get them, and anybody's kind of behind on that. So that's one of my issues. And then two, I mean, are you okay? The reason I brought up earlier about American football coming back. If you watch any American football, if you watched any of it on TV, I don't know. I'm pretty sure you can see it anywhere. I'm pretty sure if you get ESPN anywhere, you can see some college football played. Dude, those stadiums are packed to the gills. It's not like Italy. It's not like anywhere else. There's no 6 feet between seats and all that stuff. It's everybody's packed together. The whole stadium's full. 100,000 people, at a game. It's like it doesn't exist. They don't care. They don't whatever. So I'm a little bit iffy on this whole the way they do it, and I understand it's a little bit different too when you play for a club and you play for a team. You want to keep it safe as possible. I think him going and signing an autograph was made a lot out of nothing. That's my personal opinion. And then secondly, another thing that came up is somebody brought to my attention, literally his head coach was out running around, not partying or anything like that. And Mckennie wasn't out partying. He wasn't at a bar or something like that. Like, that's what I expected to hear. I expected he was at a bar, at a party, or throwing a party or something. Yeah, at least something like that. Wasn't even that. He was, but his head coach is out literally running through Nashville. And if you know Nashville's about 3 hours. It's a short 3-hour drive from where I live. Tennessee, so you go to Kentucky, and then you go south to Tennessee. Tennessee, through this entire situation, has been an absolute disaster and a mess. Like, they didn't care. They don't give it bleep. They're going to live their life like nothing's going on, and that's just how they treated it almost the entire Pandy situation. But literally, his coach was going through a jog through busy, like, downtown, whatever, like, just, packed full of people, shoulder and shoulder with them as he's running through the area. So it just seems a little bit hypocritical of me that you're going to do that, but then you're going to handle this situation that way. Anyway, that's just my personal thoughts. Let me jump in to get your ideas. I haven't really seen much of an attitude problem. I know some people don't like because he's a Harry Potter fan and stuff like that. Like, if you have a problem with his plays, it hasn't been up to par. I know, like I said, I was open of saying that he didn't give a very good performance against was it Udinese or was it the Empoli? I see. Like I said, time goes by so quick now for me. I forget which one it was, but whichever one where he was played in almost like a tried information, not exactly. He was not solid there. Eslam says, "Hi. What trophies do you see us earning by the end of the year?" Islam. Here's the problem. I'm a pessimist. I'm a pessimist by nature. I would hope you could win the Coppa Italia again. You got to make a lot of changes though, because right now, like I said, I mean, we've only seen 2 matches. I've only seen 2 matches so far, and I haven't seen a great performance against quote unquote the bottom feeders of Serie A. Udinese is more of a mid-tier level, but to me, that should still be what I would say is a bottom feeder when it comes to Juventus. So maybe you could. I was under the belief that they should be competing for the Scudetto from the beginning, but right now something's got to change before I could say that again. Inter's going to have to come down a little bit because they're looking a little bit hotter than I thought they would look, and then also Juventus really has to pick it up a little bit. So we'll see what happens. I mean, the the Super Copa is definitely an opportunity. You just have to beat. Well, you have to beat Inter. So that one has a higher possibility just because it's a 50-50 shot, right? In all thing. Ralph was saying like Mckennie did nothing wrong. I tend to lean toward you, Ralph. Like, I'd understand if it were Juventus coming down on him and saying, "Hey, you're not doing what we say," because Juventus does say, they have their say when it comes to some stuff that he does because he's paid by them. But when it was just the United States national team and all the nonsense that goes along here in the United States, I don't know. I'm not sure how much I really agree with that. Usman, how you doing, my friend? Appreciate you tuning in. Guys, if you could, like the video. And like I said, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. How you doing, James? I think I may have said hi, but I want to say it again if I forgot. Fix. No, I think the problem is Keane isn't there. No finishing, cutting edge. Immobile isn't great. That's something, again, sorry. And I know somebody was getting on me about it. I do have a hard time coming to a thought and then finishing it before jumping to another thought. The chat doesn't help me there because it's always popping up, so that's why I'm going a little bit slow on this, and I haven't read through all the chat. I'm trying to get some of my thoughts out there before I really dive into your questions, comments, and all that. what I'll say is I was really disappointed so far these first two matches. Is it just 3 overall they have? Anyway, whatever. The first two matches that you didn't get any Mckennie, that he wasn't even. I think he wasn't dressed. Am I correct on that? I remember the first one he wasn't. I don't know if he was for the second one, but he wasn't dressed. I will say the best players that have been playing for the national team are Juventus players. Overall, Chiesa and Locatelli have been the top 2 players that I've seen so far performing for the Italian national team. Immobile is a different player. I actually like Immobile a lot, so I'm harsh on him right now, and that's why I want to see. I've liked him a lot, what he's done in Serie A and with Lazio. I think he's been a solid player there, but I think overall, when it comes to the Italian national team, he's not the same guy at all. So I would rather, if it were up to me, which it's not, I would rather have Mckennie try to work in some of these younger guys more as he can. Berardi has no killer instinct. Like the one thing I saw in there, and I was actually believing, I know there's some people who were saying, why doesn't Juve look at Berardi? And I guess they kind of did last year. But right now, it's kind of an indictment on him. When I look at the way he was playing, I would rather have Moise Kean out there starting for, hopefully, any of the attitude issue or whatever have you with that is rectified, and hopefully he can actually get some playing time with the national team, especially if he looks anything like what he did when I saw him at, at PSG last year. James Tonin said a little championship hangover. Yeah. Yeah, it seems like it seems that's what it is. Hopefully they can get their act together and keep moving on. Cristiano Mike is saying they need a left back, a cam, a CM, and a striker. This is what Juventus needs. Yeah, I mean they need some help. They need some pieces to fill in. Let me take a sip real quick. Dax in case before. Hopefully I didn't miss it, but he said can't be here long, but I had to go to school in a little bit. I appreciate you tuning in. Hey, everybody who tunes in, I appreciate it. Even if you watch it on the rewatch, I appreciate that too. The sport's always helpful. FKP in peace is the best Juve midfielder is. I mean, it's Locatelli without a question, dude. Like Locatelli needs to be starting. He needs to be the guy in the midfield right now, and then you need to work around him and adjust accordingly to him. That's my personal opinion. James gives Locatelli a 7.5. Let's see. The best Juve midfielder is Locatelli, 7.3 yesterday. So you give are you a 7.5 or a 7.3? But yeah, I mean he was solid yesterday. Yeah. I think 7.5, 7.3 is a good score. It definitely is a good score for him. Usman says Mckennie is fit and healthy. He's in top shape. His issue is not being tactically adept just yet. It's a different culture, so he needs time to adapt. Yeah. The one thing I do want to say, when it comes to Weston McKennie, I don't know, because I don't know if it's because there's been so many people that have been so high on him. And I like Weston McKennie, and of course I like him because he's an American player too. That's really cool for me personally. But what I will say is, and I'm trying to think the way to put this, there is some vitriol, I almost feel like, when it comes to Weston McKennie as a player that I don't fully understand where it's coming from. I don't want to assume anything, but there's a certain I don't know if I'd say demographic or something about it that makes me it's always the same like kind of person. Their comments are always similar when it comes to hating on Weston McKennie. And I am more than open, and I want to say this. I don't know if they're like former Ronaldo guys. I think Cristiano Mike was a Ronaldo guy, and he's still here. What I would say is I don't think, and that's I want to make sure when I'm saying this too is that like. When I was critical of Ronaldo, it wasn't just blind hatred about Ronaldo. It was, I think these are accurate criticisms that are fair. Like, I expect more from him because he is a great player. I gave him his due at the same time of when I was giving him, some form of criticism. I think a lot of the time when it comes to McKennie, it just seems like blind, misguided contempt for him, and I just don't understand it. If you at least give me a reasoning behind it, that's fine. Also, there's some of the news reports, and I understand we talk about the news all the time. We go into all this kind of nonsense. So, and I guess you could say, eat the trash or whatever you want to say, for the most part. But at the same time, there's certain stuff that you can kind of decipher for yourself. Is it nonsense? Is it not? Does that make sense? Ballin is saying, such a pity. A superb display by Locatelli. At least 4 goal scoring passes and not 1 converted. Yeah, that was as frustrated as I could get. Berardi, a lot of them. And Berardi really, really did frustrate me yesterday. cussing and yelling. Nicholas Petrosini says, "Ciao, Justin. I noticed the Louisville helmet on Jay the Zebra. Yeah, I had to, dude. It took me a little bit of work to get it on him, or I guess over there. I got that one. Also, I had another team. Louisville's when it comes to college, Louisville's my main team. My other one that I like is Syracuse. They're Syracuse, not a great team, but my family. The reason I really like them is because my family's from Syracuse, Sicily, so it has some history there. But yeah, I got the football helmet on there. I won't keep it on there permanently, but just on game day, I thought it was appropriate. What's up, Andrew? How you doing? Appreciate you tuning in today. James is saying, with Juventus, you do it once, but not the second time. James, what are you talking about? Are you talking about the Mckennie issue? Because you haven't mentioned anything besides Locatelli right now. So let me know. I'm guessing that's what you're talking about, because that's what I've gotten from it. Usman says, also Mckennie made a silly mistake not wearing his mask. He's only human. Tabloids looking to make a quick buck. Absolutely, and that's a big part of it. When you come to Juventus, and I guess that's also a fair reason to criticize him, is because when you come to Juventus, when you're a Juventus player, I would also say when you're an American player, when you're an American, you're going to get criticized maybe a little harsher than some other guys. I am pretty open, I feel like. As an American, I understand not universally loved by the rest of the world. This is one thing that I would say from him. Even though I feel overall Italy and Juventus have been very open with the accepting of Mckennie into the fold. But definitely, when it's expected of you and when you have millions of dollars on the line, you're not getting paid that by the men's national team. But when you're getting paid that for a club like Juventus, just wear the freaking mask. I don't understand. And again, this is especially here. I don't know if it is like that in the rest of the world, but here, wearing a mask or the pandemic and the whole situation with that is a very politicized topic. And with me personally, the way I look at it is I'm not gonna give my political view, but it's more of if I'm getting paid millions of dollars. If you had to put a paper bag on my head, I'll wear it. I don't give a damn. If you're gonna pay me, I'll do it. So just be smart about it and do your job. So I think it is okay. I mean, and I'm not saying, I'm not going to tell you it's okay. You do whatever you want. But I'm saying it is definitely all right to criticize Mckennie for his shortcoming in this instance. I just personally think maybe it was a little heavy-handed with the punishment for him not to play against Canada and to let a guy like Julian's team come in here and come away with some points from Juventus, from the U.S. national team. Ballin says, blunder to not start Chiesa in an important match. He'd have converted at least one of those superb passes by Logan. Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of those things that I've been frustrated by. Haven't seen it with Juventus yet, only 2 matches in, but also with the national team. I want to see more Locatelli and Chiesa together. I think they could have some chemistry to really do something there. Clement saying, Juventus cannot let a midfield who can score 6 or 10 goals a year in these situations which we are living. Cannot let a midfield who can score... Wait, what? Clement, are you saying Juventus cannot have or you cannot let a midfield score 6 to 10 goals? Okay. Clarify that. I'm kind of over my head. Antonio says, I'm not worried about Azzurri. The month of September, they always start slow. Either just scraping a win or games ending in a draw. Okay, yes. Thank you. Antonio brought me back on track, and that's where I wanted to start with a little bit. What I will say is, okay, obviously, it's a great achievement, something we can all be proud of if you're an Italian fan or an Azzurri fan or whatever have you. I know there's a lot of people who, if you're a Juventus fan, even if your nationality or whatever, your background is not of Italian, you still kind of support the Italian national team as well. That's how it is. But what I would say, it's such a great achievement. It's so cool to have the longest not losing streak, I guess, when it comes to this, that many games without a loss is fantastic. Unfortunately, the way it came about these last 2 games, outside of the Euro, obviously, I can't downplay the Euro, kind of took a little... Does anybody else feel this way? Let me know. Anybody else feel like it took a little bit of the air out of the tires, per se, when it came to that? Because, I was excited, and then I was like, oh, well, they're going to do it, but they've left 4 points out there. They've left, they dropped, to me, a draw is still a loss. That's how I see things. Again, I understand it's not, but that's how I still see things. So it took a lot of the excitement out of it for me. I really would like them to hopefully get a win this next match. So that way it has a little bit more luster, especially now if they, if you add on to that streak, a win makes it feel a lot better to me. Otherwise, it just kind of took a little shine off of it for me, if that makes sense. Let's see. Hamad says, "Why do Dybala ask for that much? Why does he ask for that much money when his performance lately is questioned? I mean, he's been asking for that money for a long time. The one thing I could see too is maybe he feels like, the one thing about Ronaldo leaving is maybe he can kind of say, I'm kind of your top option right now when it comes to a striker, when it comes to a scoring threat for Juventus. Outside of, and then yes, Chiesa, really, you could argue Chiesa is the top scoring threat because he was the second leading goal scorer last season, and he hopefully will get going here soon. But what I will say is like your quintessential attacker, or whatever you want to call it, striker. Dybala's kind of that guy that Juventus has now that Ronaldo's gone. So they don't really have him to fall back on. So I kind of feel like he feels kind of not entitled, but I feel like he's like, hey, you're not spending all this money on Ronaldo. Could you at least toss a little bit more my way? The problem is right now, Juventus, like I said, they're adjusting their wage bill. They don't want to pay that much. They're trying to make sure they don't sign him up, especially a player right now who, not saying he's always injured, but he's been injured, the last year or so. What's the likelihood of him, re-aggravating something or whatever have you, getting put out of business, and you have all that, all that money you're still pouring into him? I kind of do agree. I understand it is frustrating because I kind of personally view it as, I'd say he probably should accept if it's 8. Today, I think the latest report that was like 8.5 plus 1 in bonus. I would just do 8 and 2. And I feel like that's a fair number. About 10 million euros a year. I think that's more than fair for Dybala, and I feel like he should get going with that. James says, but there is a protocol, and you are a Juventus player. I agree with you, but USA disciplined Mckennie. Yeah, and I know, yeah. And I'm not saying, I just personally thought maybe it was a little harsh. I think it's fair for them to do what they see. It's their player. They have an agreement. They have standards. He did not meet that standard. I think it was a little bit over the top. Just because, like I said, if you come to America, it seems a little bit hypocritical. I know there's plenty of countries out there right now that don't have maybe the strictest policies when it comes to the whole panty situation. But I'd say overall right now when it comes to America, it's not like it was last year. You literally go out. Like I said, I'm gonna get off topic a little bit. The movie Shang-Chi came out this weekend. I was honestly surprised. I thought it was gonna be packed because Marvel movies usually pack up all theaters. There's always tons of people popping in, hanging out, watching these movies. And it was pretty dead, but there were still more than enough people throughout the weekend. Nobody's wearing a mask. Nobody cares. People are living this way. It's a pretty open way. There are no set standards when it comes to the United States where you have to wear masks anymore or any of that. Nothing's been reinstituted with that. So that's my only thing. But yes, you're right. Protocol is protocol. I think Fix was always going to say that. Protocol is protocol. It's a simple instruction. How many events do we have to hear about him? Can we afford a player without the discipline needed and missing, or a player in this place that behaves? That's all fair. That's definitely fair. It is kind of stupid on his part, and like how hard is it just to do this, just to throw that thing on? And it's not like it was, it's not like it was early 2020 where you're not used to doing it yet. People now, for the longest time, it felt you're pretty used to it. So there's no reason, there's no excuse. Oh, I forgot it. Well, let's see. Antonio saying, what's with these rumors growing with Juve looking into getting Belotti for free? That is one. And then I think James Tonin saying too, Belotti to Juve, heard that too. Hope not. A bit of a pylon. I've heard some people mention it. I haven't really seen the heavy rumors. At least we at the Bianconeri Zone, when I say this. I think there were a lot of Twitter accounts. And I'm not calling anybody out, and I'm not making any kind of harsh comments, but I want to say this. I feel like sometimes you make a Twitter account, and you think you're a freaking journalist. Does that make sense? So, we don't pretend... we're sharing the news. maybe Alejandro is the journalist and he'll tell me that he is that guy. But I'm just saying we're not pretending like we're journalists per se. The way I think we look at it is we share the news if it seems like it's likely. We try to share it. Anything of substance. There is a bit of a... and again, I don't want to sound high and mighty, but I'll just say if there's something that doesn't seem likely, it hasn't been shared for that reason. I don't know when it comes to Belotti. I mean, I guess it's a possibility. I don't know. Again, I don't know because how many years? Let me know something. Does Belotti? What does he have on his contract right now? Are you saying are you saying for them to try to get him right now, or like to get him in January or something like that? Let me know, because I just don't see a deal working out if they're going to have to actually work with Cairo over there at Torino. I don't really watch Belotti, but Murata or Belotti. Dude, it's so hard because I would say over this, a lot of people are pretty harsh on Murata overall. I would say Belotti of a few years ago, he looked like he could have been solid, but he's really regressed. But of course, I guess you could say the same about Murata. I would probably stick with Murata. He's doing some positive things with the Spanish national team, and I think he can, once he can actually figure himself out, I think he can be a serviceable striker. Belotti, and I love it. Like I said, I'm an Italian national shill. I probably wouldn't take Belotti right now. If they can get him for like cheap or free, fine. But I wouldn't have planned with him for the future, if that makes sense. Appreciate you guys that are in here. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you are new here. FKPMP says Mckennie was good until that injury in the last season. He wasn't the same since. That's fair. That's a very good point. He has been kind of almost related to Archer, where he kind of is like a step slower than everybody, kind of still kind of getting his footing back going, if that makes sense. That's kind of how I feel where he is right now. Let me get more drink. So what do you think about and I apologize, I'm terrible. Let me know if I'm saying this name wrong. It's a French name, right? Boubacar. I probably just butchered that and embarrassed myself. Kamara. He said I think he's a great player. From what I've seen, I haven't seen enough, guys. Like, I haven't watched enough of him to really give you a solid answer. But from what I've seen about him, he seems like a solid young player. He plays. Is it true that he switches between as a center back and then as a defensive mid? Because that would be helpful and that would be useful for Juventus. I would probably take the guy. I think from one of the guys that I talked to or saw, it was a Marseille fan, and then they were saying that he's their best player. So I'd be open to getting him. I like him. If you all can actually let me know some more information, I'd appreciate that. Because personally, I don't know the guy. I wish Julian may know a little bit more than I would. Hamad says the problem with Mckennie is that we had big expectations from him, but he's not that bad. That's fair. I think it's almost unfair to say, or to even put big expectations on him. We bought him for so cheap. You got him for 18 mil. We got him on loan for 3 mil or something like that. Really cheap option. I think people are expecting a lot more of him because he came in and he started kind of hot, put in a lot of effort, and he scored some goals early on, and he hasn't really lived up to it since then. And people hate that he does Harry Potter celebrations. John Stewart says, Mckennie is a nice guy to have in our squad. However, this is Juve. We need world-class starters. I firmly believe that he is a marketing ploy for American market. Yeah. That's actually a very good point, John. That's something I talked about in my... I did an article I wrote for the site. I think it was like a year ago when they were looking at him and when they signed him, and I was talking about him. And to me, I don't want to say it was literally for that purpose, but Cristiano Ronaldo was a big part of it. If you remember, in 2018 or 2017, I don't remember the exact year. I can't remember when exactly it was. They signed Cristiano Ronaldo. Oh, I know they signed him in 2018. But when all the other stuff happened, they did that. But also they came to America and they did this big Juve night thing with the Brooklyn Nets, who are also like black and white colors. Black and white's not a common color. That's usually referee colors in the United States. But they did a combination with the Brooklyn Nets and did that, and it was a big thing. They started to do more and more outreach, more and more advertising to the United States, because in general, what I feel personally, I feel that the American market, Oh, okay. So Aaliyah's updating me and says that the U.S. men's national team is sending Mckennie back to Italy now, which is good news for Juventus. So yeah, that's what he says. So that's interesting. Yeah, Mckennie will be on his way to Torino today. So take that for what it's worth. Anyway, what I was saying was I think that they were doing that. I think they were pouring a lot of money and a lot of time into advertising to the United States. You get a guy like Cristiano Ronaldo, for all of my criticisms or whatever have you when it comes to the player, the one thing that you can say is he brings eyeballs. He brings fans from everywhere. You get a lot of attention. You get a lot of whatever have you. There's a lot of nonsense with that as well. But one of the things that I can say is we talked about this before, if it weren't for me, if I weren't a Juventus fan, if I didn't go searching for a club, the only club I really knew of that most people here know of, I feel like that's in Italy, is probably AC Milan. You hear a lot about Milan for whatever reasons, Pirlo, Ibrahimovic, whatever have you, probably the Champions League, stuff like that. I feel like they have a better foothold in the United States than a team like Juventus has had until recently. Juventus has definitely started growing. So I think, and that's one of my things and one of my reasons, and maybe a lot of my reasons isn't technical. They aren't technical of why I'm saying that you should keep, what am I saying, Mckennie. One of the reasons that I'm saying that you should keep Mckennie is not really technical, but a lot of it has to do with the fact that, it's advertising. It's eyeballs. There's guys that I know that are here that are Juve fans that watch the U.S. national team and know who Weston McKennie is, and because of that, they've watched Juventus matches and stuff like that. So it's good to get more and more eyeballs. Maybe some people, because of him, will become Juventus fans. It's a lot of marketing and a lot of ploy that way. Maybe not exactly what all the fans really would like to have, but it's probably a smart move monetarily for Juventus. James, we're saying about McKennie, yeah. Dax, Lukaku, or Vlahovic? I'd say, okay, here's what I'll say. I'd go Vlahovic. The main reason is because Vlahovic is younger, got way more years ahead of him. Lukaku's, he's a beast. You got to give him credit. He was that, and he's already doing it at Chelsea. But I would take Vlahovic just because you can build around him for the future. Rose says, I'd rather have the weakest attack midfield. Would I rather? Here's the questions. He said he's not going to be around here, and then he's here the whole time. One sec. That's a tough one. I'll be honest. Let me know what are your guys' answers. I'll tell you right now, it's not midfield. After the experience of the last couple of years, it is not the midfield. That would not be my choice of which one would I rather have be the weakest. I probably would have to go with the attack. I feel like if you have a really good defense and midfield, somebody's going to be able to find the ball into the net, right? Right? I don't know. The experience of the last weekend maybe doesn't really help that argument. Cristiano Mike's prediction: Dybala will not extend. He will leave on a free next year to Premier League or to PSG. It's a possibility. It's a very good possibility. Honestly, I wish I could disagree with you. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Like again, right now you're in the meeting to the next meeting, and then another meeting before we have another meeting. So that's all it is. Smiley face says U.S. are very strict with sorry, can't say that. Caught myself where I read it. With the pandemic protocols, especially if someone popular broke, it's going to create so much conflict. They really are. I'll say the United States has been. They really were through, most of 2020. I feel like since the mandate really was taken away, they kind of were just like, and moved on from it. Let me just make sure. I think I had an update. Yeah. Yep, that's absolutely right. Sorry, we got an update on something. Whatever. Dax's random question, but rather have Champions League or Del Piero? So you saying I'd rather? What do you mean? Okay, Dax, what are you talking about here? Would I rather have Champions League or Del Piero? I'd rather have Del Piero. Are you saying like win more Champions League or keep Del Piero? I would have kept Del Piero. Like, there's no question, I think. Dax, this is an unfair question. I'm going to have to ban you for this question. We cannot be asking me to pick between Del Piero or Buffon. If I had to pick, I can't. Dude, I can't pick. Those two are equal to me. There's nope, not going to pick. Not going to do it. Yeah, James says Morata. Yeah, I kind of agree as well. Hey, Boubacar. Okay, yeah, thank you. Smiley. Hey, Julian's here. Mckennie available for Napoli game, I guess. Yeah, I guess so. Julian's also celebrating because he's celebrating mediocrity with the United States. Canada and United States both getting a point yesterday. More. Yeah, that's a good point. YFG says people, mostly Allegri, need to realize Mckennie is a midfielder to give you energy and drive to be an attacking mid. He's not a defensive mid. Yeah, he's definitely not. He's definitely good to be used in spurts to try to give you a little bit of a jolt there on your offense. Try to, if he can get a goal in. I don't know the best way to utilize him. If you just want to, if you want to just use him as like a super sub to come in, maybe that's a good option. Fix says, part of it is that we can get 30 plus mil for him. If he was only worth 10, it wouldn't be really on the cards for him to go. Yeah. I think if you can get about 35 or so for him, I think that it'd be a good sell. But if you're only getting like 20 or 25, I just don't see the value in you just bought him for 18 or whatever you spent on him, and then you're just getting a few over the top. Doesn't seem to be good with me. James Tunham says a toss up, but going with Del Piero. He was born close to my parents' hometown. That's really cool. Yeah, it is it's very tough for me. I was leaning, I don't know, because Buffon has meant so much to me personally, but they both have. Wife, she's back. Y'all need to realize a side with 11 individual stars never achieves much. A team with 11 individual average players won't achieve anything either. A team with a mixture of chemistry and team spirit. Yeah, that's fair. I think you're also saying, look at Chelsea and Italy, for example. Both teams have a mixture of average players and stars. Both teams are achieving a lot. Yeah, you got to find out. You also have to work in some of those personalities together to make sure that they can really gel and be fluid as a team. What else do you say? Oh, that's what your response. You're saying, yeah, that's what we need to learn to do against, again, instead of focusing on one player like we did with the rest of our DNA needs to be rebuilding. Yeah, that's a lot of what I talked about of why, people took me as like too harsh or whatever have you, about why I was more critical about Ronaldo, and a lot of it just had to do with basically the chemistry wasn't there. Great player, fantastic player, like I said, one of the best to ever play the game, but at the same time, if you don't have good chemistry with the rest of your team, you're not going to be able to do much going forward. This isn't a single person sport. Dax meant Scudetto, don't know why I put Del Piero. Okay. You're saying Scudetto or Champions League? Okay. Well, then if I'm going to go with that, it's going to be Champions League every time. You're going to want Champions League. But if you're going to say what I'm focusing on this year, it's Scudetto. It's not even close because you got to be realistic a little bit. Oh, and appreciate it, Dax. Sorry you said you're off for now. Let's see what else we got here. Mirko says we need to win versus. Oh, okay. Win versus Napoli or win versus Malmo. Pick one. Win versus Napoli. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people are going to probably disagree with me. To me, I think we need to win versus Napoli. We need to get 3 points. You need to not dig yourself in a bigger hole. You can't afford to drop more points as it stands. So I need a win versus Napoli right now, more than I need a win versus Malmo. Personally, if not, you're. When it comes to being Juventus, that's one of the things about you have higher expectations as a team. So also as a team, you expect to win the Scudetto. If you're out of the Scudetto race that early, not saying you're really out of it, but I mean, you know what it felt like last year. We just experienced this. There's not much to really care about. You don't care about making Champions League. That's not a dream for Juventus. You make Champions League. You don't try. Bones says, read an article that Juve were interested in signing Jorginho during Sarri's tenure. Also, his agent said he'd love to return to Italy. Yeah. No, that was, we don't need him taking penalties after the last couple. But no, I think that was pretty well known. Like, it was pretty obvious that Jorginho, I don't know if maybe it wasn't obvious, but I was reading a lot into it, obviously, because I was looking into like different Italian targets that they could go after, and they brought up, Jorginho's agent was pushing toward Juventus a lot while Saudi was there, saying it was an opportunity. I didn't realize, obviously, I guess I should have, but I didn't realize that Saudi was going to be out the door regardless. So that kind of put the kaput on that. I would still like to take him back. I don't know if he would go to like a Lazio, but if he would come to Juventus and you have a Jorginho and Locatelli, would they work together well? We'll see. But if you have them in the midfield, that's a big boost. And if he actually does want to come back to Italy, rather than staying with the Champions League winners, and I understand, people move around. It's not a static market. It's not a static club. So, I'd be open to him returning. What are your guys' thoughts on him personally? Let's see. YFG says, I think Dybala. Okay, YFG, how do you do this? I've always wondered how people do this. I see this on Twitter. I see it on Facebook all the time. Yeah, I'm an old. I try not to get on Facebook too much, but I see it a lot. And it would be people. They get on Facebook and they do. How do you capitalize every word? That seems like a lot of work. Or is it something that's already like pre-done on your like on your phone or on your whatever you're doing? Because it seems like a whole lot of effort to go in. Like I had to think about it. Anyway, let me know that. I just want to know that question. YFG was saying, I think Dybala is being a diva. When CR7 was on 31 mil, he wanted 15 mil. Now CR7 is left, and De Ligt is the highest earner with 12 mil. Dybala wants 12 or 13. That's just red eye. That's a good possibility. It could be some jealousy, thinking, "Hey, I've earned this. I've been with this club this long. It's my turn that I make. That I get paid. Why shouldn't I get paid?" It's a good. That's a very good point. I usually don't. Not that I don't dive into it, but I usually don't pay attention as much to how much everybody's making. And I guess now I have to. One more sec. Cristiano Mike says, how on earth Ramsey was extended till 2024, Regani till 2023. Juve probably won't extend these players. No, they shouldn't, and hopefully they do not. Hopefully in the long term they ended up, I would imagine they're not. I don't know why I would say that. No, they're not gonna extend. They're gonna move them hopefully before then. But if not, contract's done. You're out. But yeah, that's a big part of what we're talking about. These poor deals. The reason, Cristiano left too is because you have all these players on these deals and you can't get anybody else to help him. Sorry, I apologize. KLKJ. Yeah, I don't know if there's a pronunciation for that or if that's like a short for something. But they are only using the protocols as an excuse to sell him. There was a lot of that. There was a lot of it that I felt like there was some, angling toward it, and I do feel like there is an agenda when it comes to it. It's a little odd to me. Obviously, he was a Pirlo guy. Pirlo wanted him. Pirlo picked him out from his time in the United States when he played for New York. So I'm interested to see what they do from him from here. Maybe they'll sell him during January. I personally like Mckennie a lot. I would like to see him. I do also recognize, though, that Mckennie is not the level of talent that Juventus needs to be successful in Champions League or whatever else have you right now. You need a guy a little bit better. He's good for like a quick injection. He can go attack real quick. But and then that's one thing too. And another reason I want to bring up, like I was saying, he looked. He was very good for not the Italian national team, the U.S. men's national team during the CONCACAF whatever against Mexico and all of that. He was killing it out there. He scored that second goal that helped, that eventually led them to basically winning that trophy. So it's a little bit odd. That's the whole story that's just kind of came out about him being sent back to Italy right now. It's kind of odd to me as well. So I want to stick on that and see. Maybe we can talk about that in the news video tomorrow for sure. Let's see. Mirko said, no problem. We're going to win versus Napoli, Malmo, and Milan. I want to have that. I want to have that faith, Mirko. I just haven't really seen enough to really to believe it, but I hope you're right. If Pirlo stayed, I think Ronaldo would have stayed for one more year. Yeah, I do think there's a big definitely Allegri is not the biggest Ronaldo guy. He kind of was pretty open about, not keeping Ronaldo, wanting to move on from Ronaldo anyway, so we'll see. Raffle says, as a Malmo supporter first, I hope Malmo wins. Are you Malmo first? You're Malmo over Juventus? That's interesting. Is that your home team or your home club? That's cool though. I hope they don't win, but at the same time, that's cool that you're a fan of theirs. I remember you talked about that a little bit. Pirlo was building. Why sack him so soon? I would have given him the season 2. Dude, I'll be honest, Cristiano, Mike, I didn't see what he was building. I mean, here's the thing. Here's my personal opinion though, is I didn't really see what he was working to. To me, there was no concrete purpose to what he was building. Does that make sense? Where I came out there and he would just literally throw out different formations every other week to the very end of the season. And it wasn't until that final match where, and no offense, I know you're a Cristiano fan, where they benched Cristiano and the team just went out there and played. Yeah, they played against Bologna, and you can, cut it down a little bit for the credit you give them because of the team they're playing, but at the same time they came out there and they gelled. What they score, was it like 4-1 or 4-0, something like that? I can't remember exactly what it was, but they looked like a team then. But besides that, I didn't really see any kind of like plan with what Pirlo did. It felt more like it was just mad scientists experimenting all season long. And I was hoping he would at least be doing that. I thought you do that until like maybe the Christmas break or something like that, winter break, and then like after that you literally can go in and just stick with your group of guys. Never happened. So I'm not fully into that. But then after seeing these first two, the Empoli and Udinese, and how that unfolded, part of me did sit back and was like, dude, did I need to give Pirlo more credit than I gave him? Part of me did question that a little bit. So I don't know, but we'll see. It's hard to tell. I wish, and Pirlo's not coaching right now, right? Yeah, so I was kind of surprised. I thought Pirlo might get a coaching job this season. It's unfortunate they didn't, because I want him to. If he didn't, I'm pretty sure he's not right now, unless he got picked up somewhere that I forgot. Di Paolo wants 10 plus bonuses, not because Ronaldo, because Ramsey's $8 million to play J Medical. Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah, it is ridiculous when these guys are getting paid that amount until then. Ramsey's until 2023. If there was an agenda, he's playing right into it. That's fair. Hey, ignore the some of the title stuff is not my idea. So, Alejandro, I'm talking to you. Some of this, they're not my ideas, so don't. That's not really what I'm going with here. But yeah, we talked about that. Yeah. Let's just move. I'll move on from that. YFG says, Justin, this is the way I comment. I put everything in all caps. It's weird, though. It's weird because I don't know how you do it, because I'm over here trying to put this keyboard, and I'm thinking I have to hit shift every single time. But to me, and if you're doing it on a phone, that's way harder than doing it on a computer, I feel like. So that's something. I was gonna say good on you, but I don't know if it is good on you. I don't know what you're doing, my guy. I wouldn't mind Dybala leaving, to be honest. Juventus are linked with players like Damsgaard, Vlahovic, Tchouaméni, Milinkovic, etc. We are building with the team for the future. A lot of youngsters. I don't want Dybala to leave, to be honest. I like Dybala. I think he can still play a pivotal role for Juventus going forward. My main thing is if Dybala goes, that's another guy you need to replace. Like right now, we still need to replace. God, sorry, my nose looks red. I'm sunburnt. It's hard to tell because I'm wearing red stuff anyway, and I always look kind of reddish. But I'm sunburnt today. I was out mowing, and it just hit me, and I can just see it right now. Anyway, but to me right now, to me, it's just another guy you got to replace. I would rather Dybala stay. Still go get a Vlahovic, get a Haaland, if you're Julian, that's what he says. Somebody like that. I would hate to have another piece that we're going to need to replace and throw money at, if that makes sense. He did not play the last game, and he took the cars back home. Yeah. Mirko says, if Locatelli plays last night, we solved our midfield problem. We solved. Yeah. I think. I don't know if you solve it. Okay. Sorry, processing what I was reading, because I was like, wait a second. I don't think you solve the midfield problem. I think it gets decently better. What I will say is I think that Locatelli has no excuse to not be starting every single match. He needs to play every single match, and he needs to start. Oh, I think maybe you said if Locatelli plays like he did last night. That's probably, I think, what you meant. Okay, that makes sense. I think he definitely helps. You still have a little bit You still need another guy or maybe two, honestly, to really cement that. But I'd say overall, he's a lot better. What he did last night was way better than anything else I've seen from our guys. Juventus played 2 or 3 great games near the end of the season, and we were still saved by Verona. Pirlo, the Pirlo myth needs to stop. If he was that great, he can ask him at his latest job, right? Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Hey, guys, appreciate you joining in here. If you are, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I forgot to say it. It's been a little bit. Sorry, I hit the table, so everything's shaking. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair to say. I just wanted to question it a little bit and see what you guys thought when it came to that about Pirlo. If maybe he wasn't doing as bad of a job as we thought. Maybe he isn't as big of a mess as we expected. Maybe he and Sadi were really holding the ship together with duct tape. I really need to close those windows because otherwise this big glares on my head. I already got a big enough bald head to shine it everywhere anyway. Let's see. Mirko. If Locatelli play... Oh, okay. Sorry, you were correcting that. What's up, comedian? How you doing, my guy? Martin says, double tap the shift on your phone, and that is the caps locks. Yeah, I mean, I know that, but, like, my question about what I'm saying is like, yeah, but you have to turn it off, right? You have to keep going back and forth. But I know if you do all capital letters, that's easy. But I'm saying if you go, every word is a shift, capital letter, lowercase letters. New word, shift, capital letter, lowercase letters. That's what blows my mind. Unless there is something like that does that automatically, and that's what you're saying, I need to check that out. Not that I would ever, no offense, my guy, but not that I want to do that. Mirko says Dybala's going to stay. Don't worry, just move to this beautiful house on the hill. The one thing I say, people always talk about that. They talk about that here, actually with Louisville, about the head coach there and the issues with him going on. They're saying he's staying here because he just built a house. Dude, this guy's got millions and millions of dollars. You think it matters to him if he just built a house? It's not like me who's just like, oh, I just got moved in here, got my, I got my mortgage, I got to pay all that. I can't be moving. I can't afford to do that. No, dude, he's got enough money. He can go build a new bleeping house. Sell this house, keep the house. Doesn't matter to him. So that's my personal opinion. But maybe. I feel like if he likes terrain, he can always come back. A lot of people do that. You replaced him with Van de Beek. Replace who? Mckennie? Sure, that could be all right. Yeah, that could be fine if that's who you're talking about. Rezgar is asking, why does Allegri prefer Benedeschi before Kulusevski? Does he actually think Berna is better? In that case, it's madness. I don't know, and that is a good question. I think overall, it might be just more of a familiarity that he has with Bernadeschi because he played under him before. I don't know. I'd like to see Kulusevski get more attention or get more playing time. I think the only issue, though, is we have... Julian's a big Kulusevski guy. He's a big believer in him. I just haven't seen the Kulusevski that we saw at Parma at all at Juventus. Like, he's seen tiny little flashes, but he hasn't really taken off yet. I thought we might, at the beginning of last season, I thought he might, be doing it again, but it never happened. So that's my only thing. But maybe he just needs to get a little bit more playing time overall. But yeah, I'd hope he would move on from the Bernadeschi thing. Even me, I've moved on from that. PTSF says Immobile will cost another World Cup qualifier. I hope not. That's what I'm worried about, and that's a lot what I was talking about earlier about my frustrations and all that. And I'm nervous. Again, I'm a negative guy. In general, I'm a little bit more of a pessimist. Not negative, but I'm a pessimist. I think is when I get in here, I can be a little bit more like joking and like smiling or whatever. But I am actually very, very pessimistic. If you didn't know me, Locatelli should be a starter. Yeah, exactly. He really should be. 39 minutes out of 2 games. It's ridiculous. He needs to be playing. That kid out there. I mean, he literally tried to will them to a victory against Empoli, or at least not a victory, but to a score at least. In the short amount of time that he played. Ralphus is born and raised in Malmo. That's pretty cool. That's awesome. Let's see. I'm really looking forward to Arthur. Can be a real surprise. I hope so. I really do. I think we keep forgetting about Arthur, but at the same time, I don't know that Arthur is the guy that kind of I was expecting him to be coming in here. I think maybe him and Pjanic are pretty equal, but we'll see. I think he's got to be better. I'd rather play him than what we have currently out there, obviously. I said, Cristiano Mike says, I said these because he won 2 trophies, even though last season wasn't great. Yeah, that's fair. That is fair. I mean, yeah, you could definitely say that when it came to, again, the Supercopa. Yeah, it's a coin flip, right. You didn't have to play really to get there. It's just you go out there and win one game, and that's how I kind of view that one. The actual, I'll give him definitely a lot of credit though for the Coppa Italia though, because you actually do have to play through and win multiple games. So definitely. YRG, we have the starting to a great midfield. We have Locatelli. We need another center midfielder with some creativity, a proper no-nonsense defensive midfielder. Plus, we need wing backs. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we definitely need a left back. Oriana really follow. I don't know. I don't know if his girlfriend, wife, whatever. I think it's his girlfriend, right? What did she do? Wait. PTSF, if there actually is a history there, let me know. We can get into some nonsense if you want before I wrap this up. Saudi is another matter. I was against him for a while, but I kind of think if we had Jorginho, who knows, but I'm pretty sure he wasn't happy there. Yeah. I agree. I definitely agree. I would like to see. I would like to see us go get Jorginho. I'd be happy with that addition. Gotcha. Yeah, I agree. Changing back and forth from caps is probably a sign of a deranged mind. Maybe I don't know. There's so many people I see that do that. I mean, I've seen them do it since I was in high school and stuff, and I never understood. Like that's so much more work. Oh, you're saying Dybala for Van de Beek? No, I'm good. No, I don't think so. I don't think it's an even. I don't think so. Me personally, no. Cristiano Mckennie is kind of overrated. He played well against Barcelona and in winter, then he disappeared whole season. Here's my thing. Is he overrated? Can he be overrated? Because is he even rated that highly? Like I don't think a lot of people are really pushing him as like the star player. Does that make sense? I think he's a solid mid who comes in and can be a good attack. But I don't think he's really. I mean, he's not valued. I mean, I value him at like 20 mil, what we bought him for. But I would want more than that to sell him. But I'm not really valuing him as like as a highly rated player personally. I like him. I like what he does. I like his, I like his intensity and what he brings. But overall, I wouldn't say he's overly high. I wouldn't say he's overrated. Hey guys, could you be a favor? Maybe if we can get one more like, we can get to 30 likes, and that would make me, like I said, I know these streams are slow, especially during this time, but I want to keep doing these to, kind of keep it up, and so that way we actually have it continue on, even though maybe it's a time where it's really dead, not a lot to talk about. But I appreciate you guys being here. So if you haven't hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. I'd really appreciate your support. Ravel says, quality and hunger left the club before Ronaldo came and still showing that these players are average. It's Milan collapse vibes I'm getting from Juve. I hope not. We'll see. I think I have faith that they will rebuild it. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. You did that and then some, so thank you all. I hope not. I don't think so. I think they'll right the ship. I think it'll just take a little bit of time and a couple more players, which is not something you want to hear. I see our future midfield being Locatelli, Aouar, and Tchouaméni. I can see Tchouaméni, dude. The Aouar train is just falling off the tracks, my guy. I feel like it's only the fans that are really keeping it alive. There's nothing. Like, literally, the well ran dry when it came to any Aouar rumors to Juve and all that. Last year, after, he put Juve out, or not him personally, but his team put Juve out, they were pretty hot. But ever since then, it kind of just went kaput. Like, I don't know. I don't see Aouar coming to Juventus. I know a lot of people would like it. Miracle says Mckennie right now is important just to keep to promote Juventus, but he needs to be grown up. Yeah, that's the thing is I think Mckennie. I think people are viewing it too much as like he's this expensive player. He's not. He's not an expensive guy. He's not a Ramsey. He's not even a Rabiot level or anything like that. But he brings a different thing. There's something. As much as I was critical of Ronaldo, he brought something that nobody else brought when it came to the table. He brought. Like I said, it's promotional. I mean, heck, Juventus, you look at Mckennie, and they use him for every single drop. Every single drop, a new jersey, a new shirt, whatever have you, he's wearing it. You're always going to see it. So that's why I think he's still pretty important for those purposes. And some of the purposes that are outside of maybe the on-the-field activity. But maybe just get it together. Just throw on a freaking mask when you walk off a bus. And if you're trying to be a good guy, that's one thing is when they say he needs to grow up. That's the one thing I don't fully agree with that statement. The reason I say that is because, like, he was being a nice guy going over to some fans and signing a freaking autograph. He wasn't over here getting drunk at a party. He wasn't going to a bar or anything like that. That's why I think it's a little nonsense. Okay, yeah. Sorry. Anyway, that's my main thing. It's like the idea about him growing up or he's being immature or whatever. I just think he was not not professional, responsible. He wasn't responsible. Just remember to throw that on. But it wasn't an immaturity of the level of somebody who's going out there and just being flagrant. Overall, that's my personal opinion, and that's kind of where I'm coming with this. Is thinking people are going way too hard on him, acting like he was just out there partying, sorting cocaine off of somebody's bleep. Like that's not what he's doing. That's not what was happening at all, my guy. And that's why I'm a little frustrated with some of these takes about him. Khalil says, "What do you think about a 4-2-3-1 since we no longer have Ronaldo?" I like a 4-2-3-1. Wait. Yeah. I would like a 4-2-3-1. The two we went with the other day, we did it. Julian gave us some decent formations. To me, it would be between a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3, especially that way you can cut down on how many midfielders are out there, and you can get more use out of, like, say, a Kulusevski. You get more, obviously, Chiesa. And then you can maybe have... I'd probably put Keane at the 1. I don't know. Let me go if you do anything differently. Resgar says, we keep buying the same kind of midfielders, all except Locatelli play sideways. Better to use Fajoli or other youngsters. Yeah, I mean, I like Fajoli. I don't want to say I don't think highly of him. I just don't know if he's really... Okay, here's a good point. Sorry, just to go off what you're talking about youngsters. I would argue... And they're saying, do you think that Rovella will play next year? And hey, my guy, I've seen you in here, chat. I'm not super familiar with the characters and how to pronounce those. Do you have a way that's like, does this make sense when I say this? And I'm trying not to be offensive or anything at all when I say this, but do you have a way that's like in English, with English lettering, just so I can pronounce your name, so I can actually give you the respect you deserve and say it, and I don't want to butcher your name. I think those are like either using Greek or some other kind of lettering. Does that make sense? If you can throw that in there for me, just so that way I can actually address you and say your name instead of not ignoring, but avoiding it, so I don't look even worse trying to pronounce it. But I love this point they bring up, saying, do you think that Rovella will play next year? Dude, I would hope so. Honestly, I would have brought Rovella in now. Like, I understand he's playing for Genoa. Take whatever you can from him. Dude looked good. Dude looked really good compared to what we have in the midfield. I would rather have Rovella here right now and have him and Locatelli playing together. Overall, that's kind of going back to what Resgar was saying about using other youngsters. Rovella would be a good option, personally. Mirko was saying Mckennie played a lot after Winter was also injured. Yeah. Let's see. There's some conversation and then Spyros. Oh, cool. It's Greek. That's awesome. That's really cool. So Spyros, I thought it was Greek. I mean, I was in okay, this is the most white person thing ever. I was in a fraternity, so obviously use Greek letters like that in college. So I was in a fraternity, but yeah, I thought it was Greek lettering. So I say Spyros. Is that how I say your name? That's really cool. That's a really cool name. YFG said, let's just be honest, Juventini. Mckennie is a great squad player who shows up in big games. That's it. By the way, Justin, where did you buy your mic? I actually bought this. Dude, actually, most of my setup, eventually I want to get a better mic. I think this one's actually been pretty solid for a starter mic, just starting a channel, what we do. This actually bought it at Best Buy. I think I really need to cover my windows in my basement, because they're usually not, I think it's because the weather's changing and all that, so they're usually not shining on me. So usually the only light, and it looks way better, it's just from my actual light that I have set up. But now I have all this thing blinding me while I'm trying to talk. I got most of my setup and most of the stuff I do. Actually, I think of it, my camera for work, my mic, all this stuff, the light and all that stuff was actually from Best Buy. So eventually I'd like to get better quality stuff, but just starting out, it's been really, really good. I really enjoy what this mic does. It does a good, also breaking whatever, behind the scenes, whatever you want to call it. I'm in the basement. That's where my wife's allowing me to set up my studio and all that. So literally there's an AC unit over there. It's in the basement, so you can hear the whole AC when it kicks on. And this thing does a pretty good job of basically cutting all that sound out, and mainly what you're getting is the sound of my voice. So it's actually pretty good. That I thought I was going to have to not be able to film or do lives while it's on, but it doesn't matter at all. So it's really cool. It's been a good mic. I would definitely suggest getting it if you're considering it. It's a blue It's like, I want to say it's the Blue Yeti X or something like that. It's really good. It's actually made for streaming and for people that do like video game channels and all that. But I like it a lot. Comedians is Chouameni and Pogba and Luka definitely would be I would definitely be down for that. I like Chouameni a lot for sure. I think that would be a good option. Thank you, Spyros. Appreciate it. That's a cool name. I enjoy saying that. Timothy says the media focus on Juve players, and among all Juve players, they keep targeting Mckennie. I didn't want to be that guy, and I don't want to just, because I hate when people just throw out the, race or anything like that. But it just seemed a little bit, like, if we're going to be real, he's a black kid from America. And I feel like there's a lot of times that they get, a little bit more scrutiny in other places, especially Italy, which is, as much as I love Italy and I love my history and all that, there's some, I don't know if I would say backwards to it, but a little bit less forward thinking than other countries. Especially you see the stuff that Balotelli and Moise Kean have dealt with in the past, stuff like that. So, again, I don't know. That's my personal opinion on it. Let me know if you think I'm wrong, because maybe I am. Maybe I know. Like I said, I've only been to Italy a handful of times that and never really that knowledgeable when it comes to their personal beliefs and all that, or how ahead or behind they are. Living in the United States, a lot of people are behind as well, so it's unfortunate. But and that's another thing where I kind of lean more to like taking up for guys like Moise Kean and Balotelli when it comes to stuff like that, because could you imagine going and playing somewhere you're uncomfortable, most people don't look like you and they're yelling stuff like that at you? Like, I understand you're making money, but there is a personal thing there, and I can kind of understand that. Cristiano was saying a 4-2-3-1. You have Szczesny, Danilo, Bonucci, De Ligt, Quadrado, Locatelli, Rabiot, Dybala, Chiesa, Kulusevski, and then Keane and Morata. That's a decent squad. Yeah, I like that setup a lot. You would have, you have Danilo. Oh, you have moved Danilo over as a left back instead of Alexandro. I actually like that. I do like that formation. That's a solid one. And that way you're utilizing Kulusevski and Chiesa together as well. Do like that one. Andres says, greeting from Miami. How you doing, my friend? Miami. Midfield has to be Locatelli, Artur, and Rabiot. Andres, if you're from Miami, I'm guessing that's Miami, Florida, not Miami of Ohio, right? Are you a Miami Hurricanes fan or anything like that? Do you have a fan of any of those? I apologize for if you are a Miami Hurricanes fan, I apologize for what you may have experienced against Alabama the other day. My team experienced that a couple years ago. So if you're not, ignore what I said. But anyway, response is, going forward, will Allegri stick with a 3-man or a 2-man med? I would lean toward moving to a 2-man med, mainly just because then you cut down on the amount of guys that you have to use that are crap. The fix is man cave studio, tool time barking. It basically is a man cave studio. This was literally where I would just hang out anyway. I literally have my big TV and all that stuff over here, video games and all that over here. I just end up building this and throwing this up behind it to give it a decent look. Eventually, I want to work on in my next house having like a full big old setup with a bar and stuff like that. And I feel like that'd be kind of cool. If this channel persists and we continue to grow, hopefully we get more subscribers. Like I said, if you're new here, if you're watching these videos, if you're watching this on the rewatch, hit that subscribe button. We know a lot of people, that watch our videos actually aren't subscribed to us, so I'd appreciate it if you do. And I enjoy, getting off topic, but it's been a lot of fun having this. YFG says, just to get off topic for a minute, Justin, I think Peyton Manning is better than Tom Brady. Please don't hate me. No, I don't hate you for that. I will say, honestly, for the longest time, not that I didn't like Tom Brady, but, I didn't have a lot of respect, or as much respect as I probably should have had for him. Okay, we're still good. I thought maybe I flipped the setting. I don't hate you for that. I actually love Peyton Manning. I like him as a person. I think he's just he's a quintessential like dad guy. And he's just fun, and he cracks me up. He's a good guy. But one thing I had to after the last couple of Super Bowls, you got to admit Tom Brady is the GOAT when it comes to the sport. We talk about GOATs, the greatest of all time. You got Michael Jordan, definitely not LeBron. You got Michael Jordan. Actually, I watched a video that was doing a breakdown of Michael Jordan of like highlights and stuff like that, and then compared it and you have LeBron highlights, which are fantastic too. Two of the best players, but some of these Jordan ones, like there's stuff that even LeBron doesn't do. So I feel pretty pretty sure in the fact of that. But no, I actually like Peyton Manning a lot when he played. Andres says Kulu is not ready to be a starter. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're probably right. There's a lot of, I think there's a lot of, what's the word I want to use? I feel like he still looks a little bit nervous. He looks a little bit out of place when he's coming into Juventus overall. Let's see. Fix. Now an agenda we can agree on is a media one. Anyone who wears the stripes gets it in the neck. Who created the season to poison the press? Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of that. Saad saying it's not an agenda. You're playing in a top team. The spotlight is always going to be on you. No. And I agree with you. I don't think you're right with that as you say that. But what I would say is I just feel like there's certain targeting of certain players a little bit more overall. But there is a bit of you need to be more mature. You need to get your bleep together. Oh yeah, Mckennie and Serginho Dest were both. Dest was injured though, sent back to Italy as well, though. Or not to Italy, but Barcelona, wherever he is. James says I sent you on Messenger 343. On Messenger, like on Facebook, or like on what? Because if you message like a DM to the, just so everybody knows, let me reiterate this because I've had to do it before. But if you've DM'd me on the Twitter account or whatever, if it's not at Justin Sofro, I don't get it. If it's at the Bianconeri Zone, that's Alejandro who runs that. So I will not be receiving it unless he passes it on to me. Just so you know. Hootsie says Canes. Yep, the Canes. It's raining as we speak, Miami, Florida. Yeah, that's Florida. That's definitely Florida for you. Brian LeBron is a guy. Brian is, yeah. Don't listen to Brian. Brian's trash. Let's see. YFG, you asked me this, and I got to be honest with you. You asked me which album am I feeling, Drake CLB or Kanye's Donda. I might get a little bit of hate. Put the bar in his house now. Dude, I want to. Now I'm talking about my future house, Brian, not this house. I would like to have that in the future setup, not now. Love some Raising Canes. Okay, that's enough of him. Anyway, but I'd say, dude, I'll be honest. YFG, I'm not a fan of either one, to be honest. I don't like Drake. I never really liked Drake that much. I know I might get some hate for that, but I just never been a Drake fan. Kanye, I liked his old stuff. His new stuff, I feel like Kanye. I was going to use this comment earlier. I think Kanye likes, he enjoys the smell of his own farts too much. Does that make sense? That's kind of like the way I take Kanye and what I think about him. I haven't listened to a lot of his album. Maybe I'll give it a chance and I'll let you know. But honestly, not a fan. Khalil says anyone excluding Bentancur from the midfield doesn't really know Allegri. Yeah. Well, hopefully he's not hurt. He's hurt right now, it appears, but I don't know how serious the damage is. Did anyone see Bepe's live the other day? He went on a rage rampage because an Italian newspaper spelled Delict, Kulusevski, and McKennie's name wrong. Yeah, it is really funny when Beppe gets angry. He cracks me up. I don't know. There's only so much stuff that I can really get upset about. People are going to, I'm not going to get upset about misspelling it. I know he was saying something about, I saw his post, the Delict, or not Delight or whatever. Oh, yeah. Okay. Guys, I'm dropping YFG's dropping his first song next week. Yeah, go check him out. YFG's always at our account, so I appreciate his support. So go check out our guy there. I'll throw that up there. Brian is heading over for the UVL foosball game now. Are you coming over right now? Are you coming over here? Because we'll see if I get allowed to watch it. But anyway, yeah, we'll be checking that one out. I'm not enthusiastic about how how UVL will do today. YG says, Justin, say less. Literally, no more CR7 fans already hate you. Before the Drake fans start hating you too. But I agree 100% both albums were and all that in a bag of chips. I have to check. Like I said, I haven't learned any of that. It's just something about Drake I just don't like. I mean, maybe I'll check it out. it's just not as much. I'm old. I'm an old man. I'm 31 now. I prefer rap from the, what I would say is the 20, what year was it? Did that one get removed? Yeah, that one got removed. Oh, well. Anyway, say more from the 2000s in that range. Anyway, I've been on here for a while. It's dropped off a little bit, but I appreciate all you guys' support. Like I said, if you're new here, hit that like button, or hit that subscribe button if you're new here. Also hit that like button. Check back with us tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll be talking a little bit more about the news and everything that's been going on. I think there might be a little bit more that might drop, and we might find out a little bit more about the Mckennie situation tomorrow. But anyway, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Appreciate everybody for joining me today. Okay, 1 second. What's this? Your old lady loves UFO games as much as the YouTube channel. Yeah, my old lady, she does, probably. That's an accurate statement, Brian. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you tuning in. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Follow Bianconeri Zone at Bianconeri Zone on Twitter and Instagram. Follow me at Justin Sofro on Twitter. And follow my boy Julian Genotti at Genotti151 on Twitter as well. Forza Juve, Forza Bianconeri. We'll see you guys tomorrow.